tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hey, 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 hey. I love this song. Welcome to another awesome after show of Bring It. If you did not recognize who that is in our intro, that's Big Frida.
Oh, yeah.
Who is having actually a show that's going to come out. Hopefully I'll cover it on AfterBuzz. But he's a New Orleans artist, and so we wanted to open the song with that. But I'm your host, English Cleveland, and I am joined by my lovely friend and co-host,
Robin Ayers. Hi, everybody. Hey, English.
Hey, Robin. So let's get into the show. Super fun episode.
It was fun.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah. Super. I just love watching them. Like I'm obsessed with them outside of like just like, oh, we made a decision to cover this show on AfterBuzz,
right?
Because we love them, and we kind of just, and people are super excited. I've been seeing in the comments, everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so excited! Finally, you guys are covering it."
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so very cool.
Everyone's really excited, and
so we have people just as excited about the show as we are, because I get crunk like when this show airs. I just feel it. So I'm glad you guys feel it too.
Yeah, and this is our 3rd episode of doing it, but I saw we had over 2,000 views from my episode last week that I did by myself.
Hey now.
Hey, so I'm super happy. But thank you guys for watching. Buzz you later. Anyways, so this episode was episode 5, Selena's Triple Threat. It is the Go Hard, Go Home competition. Mm-hmm. They're still on their butt-kicking tour, like Miss Diana likes to say, and they're in New Orleans.
Yes, turning all the way up. You know what I love about Miss Diana? She doesn't play. Like, she's all the way out there, and I feel it through the screen. Yes. I'm just like, yes, ma'am.
Yes.
You know what I mean? She doesn't play. She gets those girls, cracking and into shape. So
and their parents.
Yes, great point, because the parents are like turned all the way up, and it always cracks me up that they're like sitting outside, like standing outside the studio, but they're like, get it, girl.
Yes. It was just super funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're in New Orleans, like you said, turned up. I love New Orleans. Hey, New Orleans. I love New Orleans. I think it's such a good city. The food, the culture, the people are awesome.
Yes.
And super close to Jackson. I think it's like only a 2-hour drive, so they didn't have to go far this time. But it was weird to hear that was their first competition there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's really interesting, because they've been, between season 1 and season now 2, they've been just about everywhere in like that whole South area, Southern, and but yeah, so that's pretty shocking to hear.
Yeah.
But they made a new fingerprint or footprint out there. They really did.
They really did.
Yes.
So yeah, cool. So this week they are dancing against a few teams, but one of them was the infamous Dancerettes.
Yes.
Which used to be formerly known as the Dynamic Diamond Dolls.
I wonder why. Like, that really struck me. Why would you? It's like, and I don't know. I didn't do any research on their previous name, but like Miss Diana said, you've got an alias now. Yeah. Why would you need an alias? It's almost like the old name was associated with something negative or something bad. And I don't know. I'm not trying to put that on you girls, but I'm just saying, like, it's almost like that, like where you guys having like a losing streak and you just wanted to renew yourself or something like that. But that kind of struck me as like odd.
It was odd. And, and John, the coach, he just seemed very like, he won. I don't know. Maybe they lost too many times with that name that he's like, I want to change the name. Same girl, same coach.
Yeah.
But maybe because, you know, when they go to competitions and stuff, they have that bad name, then the judges automatically like, oh, they always...
That's true. Maybe
really
they're not giving them the benefit of the doubt, maybe, or something like that. But, you know, to this point, John was like, we have something to prove now. So, I mean, we can definitely get into it however you want, but I just think it's really funny how he was like, no, this is the one. We're about to do it. And he was so confident.
Yes.
And I got to give it to him for that. But he was really confident down to the point where they started doing so much research on the dancing dolls. And I was just like, oh, so this is what we're doing now? Oh, we're YouTubing our moves now? Okay,
it was insane. Yeah, okay, so we'll get into that really quick. I just want to touch on Sunjai and Her Sisters, and then we'll talk all of that, because I have a lot to say about John too. So this week we got introduced to Sky and Star. Yeah. And then we have Sunjai. So we have a sun and we have a sky and we have the star, which is really funny. And we got introduced, or we've seen JJ, her dad. He's super funny. He dances all the time. But it was really cute to see like them at home, because they're always like in the studio dancing. So it was really fun to see them like at home doing homework and stuff like that. Like living normal young girls' lives, like studying for the SATs and doing stuff to actually further themselves outside of the dancing dolls. And so it just seemed really cool to see Sunjai and her dad to explain, like, you know, he has them a lot of the time. Whenever they want to go see their mom, then they go to their mom's house. And so it's really good to see a dad supporting all of his daughters and being there for his children, especially in the Black community. You don't really see a lot of dads that are with their kids all the time. But he seems really genuine about it.
And he does. And actually, I love the whole confessional when they're sitting, you know, right to camera and they're talking, because that comes through. He's very genuine. And I like that dynamic with his daughters. But also the one thing that I loved about this episode is the whole entire dynamic of the sisters. Looking at the twins, looking at their older sister, and they're just like, you know, wanting to make her proud. And then she's looking at them like I'm very proud of them. Like they're doing it. Especially because, as they mentioned in the show, this is her last year with the dancing doll. So it's almost like passing the torch and everything. So I enjoyed watching that entire dynamic with all the sisters.
And it's super cute to see that last year we saw Sunjai not really living up to the expectations that she wanted to, and Miss Diana and everyone. She really had to fight her way to make it to stands, to make it to all the things that she wanted to be. And then now this whole time she's had two people looking up to her. So she's had like a lot of encouragement. So good job to you, Sunjai. Your dad supporting you, your mom supporting you.
And speaking of mom, I have to give mom, I don't know her name. Selena, I got to give you some props real quick, because even last season, there was probably no bigger fan, you know, that Sunjai had besides her mom. I mean, her mom and her dad, of course, were always supportive. She was like, no, even if Miss Diana said like she was whack this week, Miss Selena was like, oh no, ma'am, like she put my daughter in there. You know, so I enjoy that, because I mean, as a parent myself, I have twins, as a matter of fact, so I can definitely relate. So I could understand how you want to be behind your babies. You're like, yes, she's giving it. So to the point now where she's obviously succeeded some. Sunjai, I'm talking about. She's succeeded some to where now she's like headlining or whatever the case is, you know. So probably in part due to some of her mom's, you know, support. So big ups to all of them.
Yeah, super cool just to see each week that they're doing one family like at home, like before they did Kayla and the other episode, and then we get to see Miss Diana with her husband and her son Kobe, and super cute. So it's really good to see, like I said before, just the background of everyone's family and their homes and like what they have going on outside of just dancing.
And it humanizes them too, because you know, so much we see them in the studio and we see how hard Miss Diana is on them, which, you know, you could argue either way. Maybe she's too hard and she gets results, or she's, you know what I mean? Like you can just kind of be like, wow, she's a little bit when you're talking to young girls like that could be like a little stern, but I like the fact that they do humanize them in the sense of like giving them, you know, regular lives at home and stuff like that, showcasing that. Right. So.
And like Miss Diana has mentioned a few times before, she's a coach, just like any coach. If they're playing basketball, if they're, you know, in the NFL or whatever, like any coach is very strong and adamant on winning all the time. And with these girls, they compete every single week. So she's like, you see coaches on the sidelines cussing their players out. Like, it's real. It gets real because at the end of the day, like, I'm here for you guys, not just to be your coach. Like, I want you to succeed. If this is what you want to do in your life and for the rest of your life, you need to be your best. So I believe in you more than you probably believe in yourself. But it's just super funny to see because it is a sport. They are doing a sport. And sometimes I do get scared too. Like you said, when Miss Diana screams, I'm like sitting on my couch like, oh Lord. It's about, when that clipboard comes out, girl.
That clipboard ain't no joke, Miss Diana.
Joke.
I should do that at home with my girls. Like, okay, clipboard time. Right. It means something.
It does. Know? It's just like how my mom, like, she would always threaten us, like, just put the belt like around her neck. She wouldn't even whip us. And walk right in front of us. Oh, okay. What did you need me to do, Mom? She wouldn't even whoop us with it, just the side of it, just putting it around her neck or something. Like, like okay, we got it. So that's the clipboard. The infamous clip. The clipboard needs to have his own little section because each week he comes out and he comes out with the vengeance.
We should give clipboard a name. Right. It's a clipboard. You know, we should personify clipboard.
We'll think of, or you guys write us in the comments and let us know what you want clipboard's name to be.
Yes, please.
So this week Sunjai's sisters made the Pom-Pom competition that they're going to be joining her in. They look super excited and super cute to be all together. So let's get into John, the coach of the Dynamic Diamond Dolls, DDD. And I was super confused because I just felt like, okay, you've been doing research, you've been looking them up, you've been following them, you've been going to the competitions dressed in all black, and you stole pretty much
their moves.
But you keep saying that you want credit for it when they're stolen. So I just don't understand.
Yes, and I agree, and I'm on that view, but I think where he's coming from is just saying, like, let me just show you that we know how to do it too. Like, let me just show you you're not the only ones who could bring it like that. So we're going to take your moves and then we're going to do it, and probably in his mind probably do it even better. But no, that's John. No, that's not your lane, sir. So get in your lane, you know.
You're doing too much. You changed your name one. Now you're stealing other people's things, and then you have that silly little nose ring, and you're like so adamant about this that I can't even really focus and get with you, John. Like, I just don't understand. I don't like anything like copied. Like, I don't understand, like, why would you go and then say, oh, because we could probably do it better than you. Like, save that for some, like, let's battle in the street kind of situation where you're but like, you're gonna really bring it to a competition, because it made it super uncomfortable to watch them do it and then watch the dolls do it.
Yes, and then this is a total side note, but usually, like, because I mean, not that I'm a dancer, but I used to do a little something back in the day.
Okay, Robin, let us know.
Like back in the day, like when you battled, you dance, you might take somebody's move and you just kind of incorporate it into something that you're doing, but you don't full-fledged take the move and just kind of go with it.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, John, you could have, not that he should have taken their moves anyway,
right?
But if you did do it, take a little bit of it, like make it a 5-second little thing. But one thing that I noticed that I really didn't like was the whole up and down thing. They did it, and I don't know if it was editing, but it kept going, and
on
I was like,
on. It was so long.
Yeah, I was like, don't do it that long. It's not your move,
Yeah.
so don't do it that long. It's not meant for you to do it that long.
And if the dancing dolls, if that's their signature move, like if you can make fun of it and
you should make fun of it. Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't do the exact same move and then last as it's like a freaking minute long. I was like, stop.
Right.
Okay, stop, John.
Yeah.
With your girls.
He's like screaming like, give them their credit.
Yeah.
What credit, John? I kept writing in my notes like, what credit, John? Like, so I think he just feels that because they did tie once, that he feels like he's on the same level.
Yes, I agree.
Equivalent of dancing dolls. But John, this is a PSA message for you, John. Let me break it down for you, honey.
Break it down. Give it to him, English.
John, you're not a dancing doll. You're never going to be a dancing doll. Your girls are never going to be in dancing dolls unless they want to join the dancing dolls. But John, you just need to understand that the dancing dolls are the best. And so you just need to come up with your own moves. I don't know, go watch the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders dances or something and do theirs.
Yeah.
But it's not going to happen, John. Not today, not tomorrow, never. Thank you. Bye. I love you.
Okay, but here's the thing. Okay, John, what I have to say is even Miss Diana said he did some great choreography there. So when they first started, I think it would maybe their initial competition, she was like, he really did a great job with the whole, their choreography. So that says you have the skill, you have the talent that you don't need to take somebody else's stuff. So again, back to what I was saying a few minutes ago, stay in your lane, and you have to own your own lane and make that big and make it pop, and then you'll get put on the map. Yeah. But don't get put on the map by jacking somebody else's stuff, because it just doesn't look good.
And then you just started a new name, so you want a new name that's copying, and then your name is ID, which means identification. So stay with your own identity. Yes. Oh gosh, John.
Great point.
Oh gosh. So the first the first dance the girls did was the Pom-Pom Dance, which was super fun and cute, like totally like halftime cheerleader situation. Miss Diana said they did even better there than they were studying in the studio. I just think, how do they all do that in the studio? Because the space doesn't seem that big, but when they get out on that floor, they're so spread out, and it's so many of them.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because it seems like in the studio, I've always noticed this, that they focus primarily on a certain group of girls. Right. So I don't know if they just temporarily sit the other ones down while, 10, 15 of them get up and do their dance. I'm not sure how they work it out, but great question, because they go out there like a squad. Yes. And they go and they just kill it. And I'm like, wow. Yeah. When did that in the studio? We didn't see all that during practice.
I'm like, I need some pom-poms. Maybe I could just join in the back. Like, you guys can just sit me in the back. Just teach me it. If I mess up, hopefully nobody recognizes it because I'm standing in the back.
I'm sure you'll be fine, because remember, you know how to twerk. Well, English knows how to twerk a little bit, so they know how to twerk too.
You know how to twerk too.
Girl, no.
We need to come out there. I actually driven by their studio before.
Oh wow!
Yeah, their dance place. So it's super. It is. They have a big parking lot, so maybe they do it in the parking lot. I don't know. Maybe that answers our
during
question.
Off-camera times, they go in the parking lot, maybe.
Right. Are we live, by the way? We are. Do we have a chat roll? Do we have any questions? Sorry. I know I mentioned before to you guys that we were going to be talking to you in the chat roll. I wasn't sure if any of you were in there, and I didn't want to forget about you.
Oh, yeah, sorry, we're not on YouTube right now.
Oh, we're not?
No.
Okay, cool. Never mind. Sorry, guys. Next week we'll be in the chat roll. I just wanted to see if we had any comments on the dancing and stuff like that. But join us next week live for the chat roll. But anyways, so the Pom-Pom Dance was pretty much perfect, except someone dropped
their pom-pom.
Yeah.
The biggest no-no ever. Because I used to be a part of a drill team when I was younger. Yeah. And similarly, our coach was really hard. She was really, I mean, if you're kicking your legs up, you had to kick your legs up to where the top of your toes were, pointed, and we used to have to kick the wall. That's how, it was really intense. So I know about the points being taken away for dropping a pom-pom or anything like that. So that's one of those cringe moments. I could understand where she was coming from. I'm like, no.
So you've done like the whole pom-pom dancing?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I was
with
younger.
Like a lot of girls and like all the formation? Really?
Yes, the whole 9. Yeah.
Ooh,
and we've done like
fun.
live performances and parades and, you know, stuff like that. So it could be, I understand even where those girls are coming from, and they're young and everything like that. But, you know, you go through so much training and so much rehearsals that, you know, you should know.
Yeah.
You hope. I mean, if you got to take one of those little pom-pom strings and wrap it around your finger, like you're not going anywhere. Just because, again, their points are taken away.
Yeah. Well, they did a good job beyond that.
They did. They did a great job.
Hopefully it wasn't one of Sunjai's sisters, because Selena did put a lot of pressure on them before. She was like, you better wink those eyes. Yeah. Flip that hair.
She sure did. To the point, Miss Diana was like, no, let me back you up really quick. Leave them alone.
It was a flashback to last season when Selena was wilding out with Sunjai.
Yes.
And Selena almost got Sunjai kicked off the team, and Miss Diana threw the same threat out again. If you keep this up and make these girls nervous and get in their head, none of your daughters will be on the team. And guess what, Selena? That means you'll be gone too. Yes. And we know how much you love being
you
involved.
love your shine, Miss Selena.
Yes, you do. So the pom-poms, they did a really good job. Obviously, we see at the end they won first place. They did. And ID won 3rd place, which is really
shocking
weird.
Because they put so much emphasis on them on this particular episode. I'm like, surely it's going to be like a 1st and 2nd. We didn't know where they were going to place or who was going to place where. Right. But I was just shocked. I was like, 3rd? Yeah. You know, I mean, but hey, maybe their alias didn't really help. I don't know. But I mean, 3rd place is not terrible, but when you have coaches like that that put so much pressure on these girls, they of course want to come in first.
What I did really enjoy about this episode was to see that Miss Diana and him, even though that he has been sneaking and snooping and being like a spy or rat in the corner, like she said, they actually don't hate each other. Because I know in a lot of the other previous episodes, a lot of the coaches take this situation to heart. And I get it. You're spending a lot of your time. You're investing a lot in these girls. But it's not like a situation where you need to hate each other, because you're teaching your girls to hate. Yeah, exactly. And it seems like this week, even though he was sneaky and doing all of this stuff and stealing their moves, which could get anybody like really angry, Miss Diana and him, their like relationship is never really that angry towards each other. So they're like playful. Yeah, they're very playful. They laugh. But I know like last week the coach like was crazy and was saying like mean things about her and stuff like that. So it was just really good to see this week that even though he was stealing, they liked each other, or to a certain degree.
And to that point, what I also noticed was even when it was time for the announcement of, you know, the placement, the girls handle it with so much grace. Yes, they do. It's not like, like we won. It's not that. And I appreciate that, because you're teaching them how to be dignified in winning something and, you know, just gracefully handling it. One thing I cannot stand is there's nothing wrong with celebrating yourself and, you know, having a great time and being proud of yourself or your team. Nothing wrong with that. But in front of other people, it's like that needs to be a training in and of itself. You know what I mean? Just how to gracefully handle that. So big ups to the girls for that, because they did really well.
You're right. It goes further than just this competition. Yes. It goes to anything in life.
In life,
when you go to school or college or you get a job, and you know, everyone gets celebrated or accolades throughout their life. How are you going to handle it? How are you going to take it on? Are you going to be rude to people because you have it? Or, you know, it shows really good showmanship. And outside of just Miss Diana teaching them their dancing, she's also teaching them life lessons that would help them along the way. And, which is good.
And, you know, it's funny because my husband, Robbie, you know, like I mentioned, we have the twins. He wants to get them involved in different, like athletics and, you know, sports or just a team. Because you learn so much in a team. I wasn't fortunate enough, besides my drill team, and I was a part of cheerleading for a while in high school. Outside of that, I never really had that sports type of, you know, come together, we all celebrate, because there's a lot of things that you learn. Even when you do not win. How to conduct yourself when you don't win. And are you hating on them? Are you salty? Are you mad? Or do you take that and say, okay, next time, you know, I know why I didn't win, and or we just have to reapply ourselves, you know, or whatever. So that's also another lesson that I'm trying to teach to my girls too.
That's great.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I know. I played basketball, so I was on the other end.
Nice.
But I just remember, like, from all the years I played from 4th grade until like my sophomore year of high school.
Wow.
Yeah. So I played for a long time, but every single coach that I had, like, they always taught us, like, at the end of the game, we went over to the other team, even if they didn't meet us, like, it was usually we would meet in the middle of the court, shake everyone's hands, like, go down a row, shake all the players' hands, shake the coach's hands, whether we won or we lost. And it just, sometimes when you're young, you don't understand it.
Right.
So you're kind of like, oh my gosh, I don't want to touch them. Like, they just won.
Yeah.
You know, like, stuff like that. You just don't even want to really look at them in the face. But now that I'm older, I just look back on that and I really appreciate all of my coaches teaching me that, because it's taught me that you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But how you act, and all you have is your character at the end of the day. And you don't want people to judge you on not being a good person, and you want your character to be upstanding, is what I'm trying to say.
I agree.
And so how you handle the situation is most important.
Okay, so while we're on the whole parenting, you know, thing, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
If you had kids right now, which you don't, young girls, you had young girls, how would you feel? And I'm not hating. Okay. Hey, I'm not. Let me just put that out there. I'm not hating, but this is just a little question.
Okay.
How would you feel if your girls were doing, like, they were that young and they were doing the whole thing, you know, like everything that you see the girls on the show doing?
Yeah.
Part of it, I'm like, go girl. Like, it's confidence. It's they're exuding so much. I love that part. But on the flip side of it, especially, they're down south.
Yeah.
You know, you learn a lot of those different, you know, movements and all that stuff down south or whatever. But I'm just saying, as a parent, if you were a parent, or when you become a parent of a young girl, how would you feel about that?
I don't know. It's such a hard question because, or hard topic, I should say, because I do enjoy watching the dolls. I do think a lot of the time their moves are very respectable. Sometimes it does push a little bit of a button. How would I handle it? I don't know. Yeah. Because they were doing some moves this week that I was just like,
yes.
Okay. It's very, there's a thin line. That's the situation. There's a thin line where to be a little bit too risky and a little bit, or risque, I should say, and a little bit too grown for their age. But then, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because I look at the whole thing, I'm like,
do you let your daughters watch the show?
They don't watch the show.
Okay.
They don't even watch Dance Moms. Okay. They don't, I mean, because even though I'm sure they love the whole dancing idea and all that, so my girls are literally like in a box. Like, I'm trying to open it up a little bit more, but I'm just, I'm very protective over what they see, what they hear, because it's not even, remember, it's not just the young girls that are on the show. It's the parents, it's the coaches, it's what people are saying. You know, I want them to be at an older age where they know. My girls right now, no, they absolutely know, oh, that was wrong, that was right, you know, what she did, and she should have handled it that way or whatever. But certain things I still don't let them, you know, listen to, because they're not 12. Yeah, they're 8.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Like, you still have a little bit more growing to do. Right. But like I said before, you know, I like a lot of what they do. I like that they're teaching these kids, you know, movement, body movement, how to be comfortable with yourself, how not to be shameful if you have, you know, if you're a little thicker and stuff like that. I love that because all the girls are wearing the same outfits or costumes, or, you know, whatever they're called. And they are dancing all the same way, and they're going hard. You know, it's not like they're, you know, timid or anything like that. So I love that. So again, it's the confidence that they're exuding. It's just, you you know, when you flip it up, it's like, oh, okay, you're doing a little bit, you're doing all those, you know, crazy moves.
It does
too.
get a little bit out of control. I do wonder how any of the parents feel. Any of the parents, if you guys are watching, let us know.
Please.
Do you guys not like some of the moves the girls are taught? Do you ever feel like you're not doing that move? Oh no. Let us know, because I would kind of feel like that. But then it's like, how do you approach your coach and tell them that? Or
yeah, you couldn't.
You can't.
That's it was your choice to put your child in here. You know what goes on.
Yeah.
You know how I do.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's your choice.
Right.
So, I mean, it's a balance game.
Yeah.
The balance is, do you let your child come in here, learn all these wonderful things?
Yeah.
Or are you going to be a little bit, is it too much for you? And are you just going to keep your child out? It's totally the parent's decision.
Right.
So I feel like if you made the decision to put your child in on this squad, then you have to take what comes along with it.
So what's your favorite move out of what the dolls do?
I can't do it, but it's like, you know, I love when they pop. Like,
Yeah.
I just love their whole pop because they go so hard. Oh, you know what else I love?
Yeah.
The whole like
Hair.
head thing.
Yes.
I love the head thing. And they make sure they're like, we're going to put some hair. If you don't have a lot of hair, we're going to add some to you, which is, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. But some could argue they're a little young for all this hair. Doesn't matter though.
Right.
Not to the coaches and to the parents. Yes, it's showmanship.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's definitely like the head whipping and all of that stuff. So I do love how they get down sometimes with that.
I do too. Last week I mentioned one of my favorite moves is when they like do like the head pat thing.
Yes.
And then I do love the hair flip. Just both of those two combined then I just love them twerking and all of that. So, and I think I admire them so much because I can't do it.
Yeah, that's my whole thing.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm learning. I'm like, oh, whoa, okay, yeah, I see you. Go okay, to the side. All right. I try.
Right. We need to go in and have a dancing lesson.
Definitely.
So we did see the dolls won first in Pom, like we said, and then they got first in Stance. So really, really excited, super excited. Good job, dolls. You guys did a really good job. And then we saw good showmanship after. John said, you know, he'll be back or whatever. He's, you know, he's probably going to be watching more of the dances.
I'm sure he's going to pull some stuff up on YouTube.
Right. Well, John, good job for you. But next time, it was really cute, but keep it on mute because you talked a good game, John. But you didn't live up to it, which it's not your girl's fault. It's your fault. You shouldn't be going and stealing people's stuff. So next time, just be original, like your name, ID. So what else did we see? That's it, I think.
Yeah.
We had a really good, that was a really good episode. I am looking forward. Do you have any news and gossip or anything?
Oh, no, but I did have a question.
What?
Now, do you think that the music that we hear is the music? Okay, so because there's licensing things.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they've even said that because they have to pay. So for the songs, and they do this on a few other shows, the songs are expensive. Yeah. And so, you know, it's easier just to put a song over it instead, which are like authorized songs that they can use. Yeah. But it drives me crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't give the same effect. I mean, I want to ride with it, but it's just like, I know it's not like that.
But you know what? I found out you can go on YouTube and they have a lot of their competitions and you can hear the actual songs. And Miss D posted actually on her Instagram the other day one of their like a snippet of one of their competitions, like from a long time ago, like throwback or whatever. And it had the real song. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Like they were getting it. And I feel it even more. But you know what? My neighbors probably will thank them for not playing the real music because I already get so crunk in my living room. Like I turn it up all the way every time I watch the episode. And so I know my neighbors are like, this girl is so loud, screaming, okay, go girls, you better work, okay, you better bring it, all this stuff. And then it doesn't even have the real music. So if they put the real music, I'm going to be probably kicked out.
Yes, probably so. Yes. But okay, I'm going to take that. I'm going to go to YouTube and I'm going to look up, you know, their competitions. Yeah. Great idea.
Yeah. And you can look up any of the other like ID. You can see their competitions if you want to,
Okay.
too, but it's not really worth it.
Oh, okay.
But let's see. Do I have any news and gossip? No. The only thing that I've noticed is that the girls are working crazy. Like, they are lined up for a crazy tour this whole summer. They're going around to different cities, a lot of cities actually this summer, and they are doing camps where they're teaching girls to dance.
Oh, snap.
And then I found out this week that the parents are doing it too. They're going on a little tour and teaching women our age, if we want to join, dancing, like the dancing dolls, and like just camps, like teaching like people that, like, we've seen a lot of the parents, they used to be dancers. Like Selena used to be a dancer.
Yes. Yeah. Even the dad, wasn't
JJ?
JJ, wasn't he a dancer or something?
He acts
they talk
like
about his dancing a lot. So
yeah. Who else? I know Kayla's mom. I can't remember who I saw. Oh, Mimi. I know Mimi. Cameron's mom, and I think Kayla's mom, or one of the two, are going on a tour, and they are going to be teaching moms dancing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Come to Los Angeles.
Yeah, come to LA, and we will definitely be there, and we'll like film it and have it on our show.
Yes.
So yeah, that would be super fun to join in.
It would be. And then you never know. Maybe if it's young enough, maybe I could put my girls in it and they could come away with like a few things.
Yeah.
But you never know. I might be like, stop. Don't do that.
Right.
I don't know if
Okay,
they
I've
can
had
handle it.
enough. Right.
Snatch them up out that boot camp.
Exactly. So I think that wraps up our episode, Robin. I'm so glad that you joined me today.
Thank you. Thanks. I hope everybody enjoyed it.
Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy it. Also, make sure you guys go in the comments, leave us any questions that you want answered. I know you guys have been. I've been responding to you. Thank you guys so much again. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us 5 stars. Tell us you love us. We love you. DD4L for life.
For life.
Thank you for tuning in. It has been a great episode again. I am your host, English Cleveland. You guys can find me on Instagram at Pink English, as well as on Twitter, English Speaks.
And you guys can find me at Robin Ayers, and it's Ayers.
Thank you so much, DD4L. See you next week.
Executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.